What's going on, everybody? ASCII Adam here. If you enjoyed today's content, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to get future Division 2 updates. Before I get started, I want to say thank you to my fellow service members and veterans. We love you. Thank you for your service. Also, suicide is never an option. If you're feeling suicidal, please get help. Call a family member, call a friend, call the National Suicide Hotline, message me. Do what you need to do to get yourself well. Alright guys, so today I am bringing you what I am calling the working man's rifle build. And I'm calling that because it's pretty easy to put together and it just does what it's supposed to do. There's not a whole lot of mechanics that you have to mess with in order to get this to work. You just shoot things, basically. So the way it works, and this is almost a testament to the buffs for rifles and then some of the perks with the rifles. As you can see, I'm using a Police MK17 and it has Lucky Shot on it, and that really surrounds this build and makes it work the way it does. Is this super min-maxed? No, because again, as you can see, I'm using 3-piece True Patriot, so you are helping out your team. You know, you're part of the team, you're doing your thing. So you could change all of these out for, you know, the headshot, 2-second headshot, 15% damage. You know, you could change out the True Patriot and min-max a little more, but the True Patriot does actually have quite a few reds on it, so that's a nice perk, as well as helping out your team and yourself with red, white, and blue, even though it's a little iffy on whether that needs a decent buff or not. But let me run you through what I'm doing. So I'm using the Police MK17, and it's got 64.5k damage. It has Lucky Shot on it, which the magazine capacity is increased by 20%. Missed shots from cover have a 100% chance to return to the magazine. It has Stable on it and Rooted, which doesn't really mean anything for me. I'm using the Nemesis for the holstered perk, which is 15% headshot damage when you're scoped with your current weapon. If you didn't know, all you have to do to get that is use the C79 scope. You can still have the 5% damage to elites. You can't use the 8%. You do not have to scope in with this. You just have to have it on the weapon. I'm using 5% damage to elites on the muzzle, 5% crit hit chance, plus 20 rounds. So the pistol, the only reason why I'm using this pistol is for the overlap for the 5% weapon handling. Now let's go into the gear. I am using True Patriot 3-piece, red, white, and blue. When you shoot an enemy, apply a debuff to them. Debuffs are applied in order, red, white, blue, cycling every 2 seconds. Red decreases the damage dealt by the enemy. White restores armor to friendlies that shoot this enemy, and blue boosts skill haste to friendlies that shoot this enemy. I'm only using 3-piece because I found full flag doesn't really work all that well. It sounds good in theory, but number one, you don't normally get all 3 debuffs on a target, and then even if you do, there's not anybody close enough to really get the damage from it, so I don't feel like the 4-piece is anywhere near worth it. Especially when you can have then 3 pieces of high-end gear to get the extra talents on. So the mask, again, red, white, and blue, 41% damage to elites. I know we can get a whole lot higher than that. I've got to do some farming this weekend, man. Let me just tell you, I will be farming like crazy. Health modified. And then rifle damage, damage to armor, and weapon damage on the mod. The chest, I am using Vigilance. It has 21.5% headshot damage, 398 skill power, 6.5% weapon damage. And I am using 2 Overlord armaments, 10% rifle damage, 7.5% total armor. And again, I have a rifle offensive mod, a little bit of damage to armor, a little bit of weapon damage, and then just some total armor. Again, True Patriot on the holster, and I've got 14.5% crit hit chance and some health on there. Again, another rifle mod. Not the greatest one, but it's what I had. And then again, another rifle mod for the 2 offensive mods. Backpack, again, True Patriot. 5.5% crit hit damage, 11% crit hit chance, and some skill haste. It has hardened on it. and then a rifle offensive mod, and then a utility mod that doesn't do anything. My gloves are 12% rifle damage, the second piece of Overlord, and they have hard hitting on it. And the knee pads is a Douglas and Harding for 5% accuracy, 8.5% crit chance, entrenched for headshots from cover, repair 10% of your armor. I'd love to get the perfect entrenched for the 15%. That would be sweet. And again, another rifle mod, not the greatest, but it's what I had. I'm using the Reviver Hive and the Chem Launcher Heal. And my stats. So, my stats are 39% crit hit chance, 45% crit hit damage, 107 headshot damage, again because I'm using the Nemesis and the Sniper Specialization, Marksman. I have 15.5% all weapon damage. I have 54% rifle damage, 76% damage to elites, 2% damage to armor, 2% damage to health. Now, this is not a huge, oh my god, let me show you these damage numbers build. It is not super, hard hitting as far as those damage numbers go. But what it does, it hits hard enough, and this is, the range is set on elite and elite, so it's, like you're an elite instance. And what happens is, if you watch my ammo, it doesn't go down. So when you're actually in a mission or you're doing something, the only time you lose ammo is when you actually hit a target. And so if you think about it, one of the biggest killers of DPS is number 1, reload time. I can't think of what number 2 was. That's all right. But anyway, you'll see in a mission afterwards how it works. But even in an elite mission with elite enemies, I'm still hitting 354,000 headshots. And again, I'm helping out my team by putting the debuffs on them. So you can see it doesn't take me all that many shots. And again, in a mission, I can be, just shooting constantly. And the only time any ammo comes off this build is when I actually hit the target. So normal hits are 132,000, 193,000 crits, 294,000 headshots, 354,000 crits, and now you see I've got all my debuffs. But the nice thing about it is, number 1, I don't lose ammo unless I'm hitting. Number 2, with headshots, if you see my armor going back up, because of entrench, I am now back to full armor. So yes, you could min-max this build a little bit more. I don't know, if you could get the numbers higher, but this just really, really works. And it seems to be just, I guess when I was thinking about it, and I'm like, what does this build do well? Well, it does everything really kind of well. And it just does what it's supposed to do. And that's why I was like, well, this is kind of like the working man's build. It's just, not super hard to find the pieces for, and you just get out there and you just kill stuff. I will be showing you, I did an elite mission, or an elite mission with 3 other people, and I was second in damage and very close to the top, but I had the most headshots, I had the most headshot damage, it just is good. And I know I was helping them out with a little bit of armor coming back, a little bit less damage from the enemies, and a little bit more damage to the enemies, or a little bit of skill haste cooldown. So, it's an all-around great build, and it's just fun to go out there, shoot stuff, and, everything dies pretty quickly. So, that is my build for today. I know you're probably like, man, that's pretty easy, but just watch some of the game footage, and you'll be like, wow, that really actually does work pretty well. All right, take it easy, guys. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
control. Excellent work.
An agent has left your group. You have received an endorsement. An agent is no longer in your group. Another agent is now group leader.